What is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I listen to video game music for the very first time, and today we're going to be checking out Dynasty Warriors 4. This is the second time I've done this game, and we're going to be hearing Avenging Battle from the channel Koi Tecmo Media, and then the song Heavy Gauge from the channel Empty Profile. Yeah. So Dynasty Warriors is something that I haven't really dove into too much, maybe like 4 or 5 videos, something like that. And it's always surprised me because it's like kind of heavy metal. There's a lot of guitar focused stuff, a lot of riffs. I really like Teary Edge quite a bit. I still listen to that actually. I think that was, what was that, 7? I don't remember, but the one that's Teary Edge. So I'm expecting some either Chinese sounding instruments mixed with guitars, which is always a cool mix. This is requested by Triedge 101 and Extracoon. We are starting with Avenging Battle. That's a cool song title. Let's see if I can hear the anger of avenging someone. Let's go. I'm a guitar player, so I hear power chords, I'm happy. Don't know who the composer is for Dynasty Warriors. I'm sure it's been answered before in other videos, but I don't know. I guess I could look right now. VGMDB. I've been loving this site lately. Is it 4 empires or 4? Is that a voice? That's not a voice. Whoa, it sounds like a voice. Oh, there's a lot of composers. We'll look at that later. Let's get back to this song. What was that I just heard? I know it's like a Chinese instrument, but I don't know which one. It's a bunch of power chords and grooves. You know what? I can imagine this being like an vengeful song. The drums aren't like, they're more like triumphant and almost like a march, which sounds like we're heading into something, you know? It sounds more like preparation or let's go type of thing. That really, for the first like 4 seconds, that sounds like a vocal. Guess it's a flute of some kind. Flute family. I'm looking in the corner of my screen, I see... Oh, never mind, sorry. I thought it said Yoko Shimomura, but it's Yukio Shimomura. That was definitely one take. You could hear like some mistake in there, which is fine. It's totally fine. It adds like a bit of a human dynamic to it. Like I heard there was like a note that went dead. There's like this raw nature to Dynasty Warriors, right? That's how I feel. It feels like very garage band. I'm trying to compare it to something else, but I can't think of something. It's not Command and Conquer, but I feel like there's another game out there that sounds like this, where it's just like purely like hard rock, heavy metal, a lot of headbanging type stuff. And it makes me wonder if there's any other variety as far as genres, or I don't know. I can't remember if I've heard anything else besides like your straight up guitar, bass, and drums. And of course, like your occasional Chinese instrument like that. And it makes me curious as to how are the more emotional segments of the game handled, if there are any, or if it's just kind of one of those games you just turn off your brain and just do stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't have a story, or it's not a huge emphasis, just more of a gameplay type of thing. Maybe it's more of like an arcade type of. I don't think about Dynasty Warriors. If you couldn't tell, I just know that a lot of fights happen, a lot of big fights, a lot of people. So I do know that this is. I don't know the exact answer here, but I'm pretty sure, based on this, that. Well, I don't remember the name here, but I recall something about like the numbering is different somewhere else. Like here it's 4, maybe over there it's 3. But I don't think I remember ever seeing Shin Sangoku Musu before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. So I hope this video is correct, as in these are both from 4. And what I see here, just looking at the composers a bunch, I don't know if I recognize anyone. Masa Yasuhiro Misawa. I don't recognize any of these people, but maybe. I was also looking at who did what guitar-wise. There's a lot of people that worked on these. A lot. And I'm just talking just composition. I don't think I've ever seen this many people for just a composition. It's 3 different guitar players. Okay. I don't recognize any of these names. Well, I will say that the song was more of a... Like, it did sound emotional to an extent. First of all, the title, Avenging Battle. That already says something. The guitars had a little bit of a... Not the solo part, but like the main lead had a bit of an emotional quality to it. Trying to like wrap my head around what I just heard. It's very open-ended, so one thing I find interesting about Dynasty Warriors, I touched upon it briefly just a minute ago, where everything sounds very raw. I'm not sure if that's stayed throughout the entire series. I think it has, from what I recall. But it's just not something I would expect, you know? I know this is going to sound like such a weird question, but like, does it fit? Every time I ask that, obviously I feel like I know what the answer is going to be, because obviously if you're watching this, you probably played it. Of course it fits. I guess I just try to ask in like looking outside the box type of thing. In the grand scheme of things, does it fit? And while the answer is yes, obviously, I'm trying hard to picture like the in-game footage with. I haven't seen moving footage. I don't think I've only seen like pictures, and I don't know. I guess I just don't see it. I guess I'd have to experience it, of course. Who knew? Context is everything. So the way I approach Dynasty Warriors, at least with songs like this, not with Teary Edge. Teary Edge, that was like a whole different ballgame. But when I hear songs like this, which are these kind of like just generic groove rock and metal things, I guess there's like really nothing up here as far as like setting. And my imagination isn't really going anywhere. I'm just more listening to the song and just, you know, headbanging along to it and enjoying it. So it's a good song. It just, my reaction is blank, I guess, because it just sounds like something I'd not hear on the radio, but, you know, it sounds like just a song. I don't know how else to put it. And that's really all I got. And I guess the drum part was kind of unique, right? It didn't stay into this groove. It had this kind of marching quality. That was probably the most standout thing, right? Even though I'm a guitar player, I listened to everything else. I think the standout thing was the drums. Oh, and to touch back on the whole like raw thing I was talking about, I mean like the recording. Like a lot of it sounds so like barely compressed, barely, you know what I mean? It's not like too edited. It's just a very dry guitar signal. And it's cool. I mean, it's like very aggressive and raw. It kind of reminds me of like old punk, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's an artistic choice. No big deal. We have Heavy Gauge now, which I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, is from the same game, hopefully. It's a cool name, Heavy Gauge. Okay, let's go. Right now. This is what I kind of expect. Yeah. See, that first song is making me appreciate this a lot more now. And vice versa. Excuse me. Riffs though. Riffs in Dynasty Warriors is amazing. I think I like their riffs more than their leads, which are still cool. Like that's killer back there. Gong. Oh. We went up. I ran out of water, so hopefully I don't cough anymore. At least they're effective leads though, like they're memorable. That's good. Like I already know it, you know, without knowing it. Nice. Little breakdown. Yeah, dude, it's all about the riffs in this game. That's so cool. I'll give credit to Dynasty Warriors for that. This combination of these regions, that's really cool. That's very unique. I can't think of anything else that sounds like that. Yeah, there's a lot of guitar in the game. I feel like I've heard of this studio too. Is it Koi? I feel like I've seen that name before. Percussion break. Okay. That's rare. Where are we going from here? Guitars. That was cool. I like that. That's rare. Gotta love you some alternate picking. That kind of reminds me of a band. Kind of. Work with me here. A band that I think of that is mostly known for their riffs, and they do leads very well, and they do leads. But I don't think there's any denying that they're known for their riffs is Lamb of God. And I kind of feel the same way here. Like I feel like I'm paying attention to the riffs, and I feel like that's like the strong suit, and the leads are just kind of okay. They're very simple. Whereas the rhythms are really cool, like all the power chords being held, the little the breakdown in the middle. Like there's a lot of rhythmic guitar stuff going on, which I enjoy. Because it's usually stuff that's like in the background. Because once the lead kicks in, usually it's like calling for your attention, like the spotlight's on it. Here you go, listen to this, you know. But in Dynasty Warriors, it seems like the lead is... How do I say this? In music terms, the signal is very dry. When I think of, there's no right way to do this either. I'm just saying, usually, most of the time, a lead has much more stuff going on. Like, for example, have a phaser or a flanger or a chorus or delay or reverb, something to make it kind of pop. Whereas this just sounds like the exact tone. I'm speaking in guitar terms a lot here, but it's the exact same tone as the rhythm guitars, just turned up higher to be a lead. That's just what it sounds like to my ears. I could be wrong about that, but it's an interesting choice, which again falls in line with the whole like sounding very raw and barely edited. None of these are negative points or anything. I'm not here to like criticize. It's just things I'm here. And yeah, it's just an interesting choice. But this one sounded more along the lines of what I hear in my head. You know, before I heard Dynasty Warriors for the first time, I remember thinking that it would sound something a lot like this kind of like hybrid Chinese instrumentation with like American metal type of thing. Like how do I explain that? I totally lost my train of thought, sorry. I wanted to say thrash metal, but it's not really thrash. I guess in some capacity. But anyways, the whole like east and west sound. And I think about it, I'm like, there's not a lot of... I mean, there's bands that exist that do that, and there's some songs here and there, but it's so rare, you know? I hear it in hip-hop a lot, but not too much in like the rock and metal world. So they definitely have discovered their own niche. I don't know how you guys say it. Some people say niche, some people say niche, but I've always called it niche. And it works for them. And this I can totally hear in game. Like I can, you know, I guess it's just more satisfying to my ear. But with that said, things that make me feel one way, hearing something to go alongside with it definitely enhances, and vice versa. You know, how I felt about the first one, which again was great, just kind of generic. The second one enhances the first one now, and the first one enhances the second one. Because if everything sounded like this one, it'd be a little monotonous, and if everything sounded like the first one, it'd be very monotonous. So hearing the, I guess, variety is nice, because that's like one of my favorite things is variety. Yeah, but I still have a lot of Dynasty Warriors to go. I still like the soundtrack a little bit. I guess I'm just confused by a lot of it, right? The name, the numbering system, and I'm sure people have commented on it and explained why, but I forget things almost immediately after I post them, so feel free to enlighten me again, but I won't be able to retain it most likely. I'll retain it right there and then when I'm reading it, but after that it'll be... So yeah, that is Heavy Gauge. Why is that one called Heavy Gauge? Very curious on that one. I wonder if that's also like a guitar term. I doubt it, but it's when I think heavy gauge, I think of guitars because strings are they're, oh my god, what's the word I'm thinking of here? I'm just drawing a lot of blanks today. I think that coughing fit kind of like messed me up. Sized by their gauge. So what am I thinking of here? Whatever. Gauge is a guitar term too for the string size. Sheesh. I need water. Thank you to Tri-Edge 101 and Extra Coon. Still have some more Dynasty Warrior stuff from a bunch of different games. Thank you to all my Patreon members. Platinum members, to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Take it easy.